everybody. Welcome back from the kinda not break. It
Break.
bit of a hiccup.
Just a little
But-
hiatus.
Boy, howdy, are we back with a doozy for you?
Yeah, so this week we did Stealth Symphony, and before we get into the usual stuff, this week we're going to try something a little different, just to see, play around with the formula, see what happens. So we're going to assume that you've already read this. So if you haven't read it, go read it. It's only 20 chapters. It's quite the ride, as you'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to read it, I guess just listen to us blabber about it. It should be fun. Anyway, Eddie, let's keep going.
Alright, so Stealth Symphony is a canceled manga that appeared in Weekly Shonen Jump. And for our series, at least, this one is actually worked on by two different people. One doing the art and one doing the story. So the artist for this series is Yoichi Amano, who is no stranger to Weekly Shonen Jump, for better or worse, as they have had other series that were also fairly short-lived in the magazine. And the writer is one Ryohgo Narita.
Who
And-
I was surprised to find out.
In fact, I myself was surprised to find out
Same.
that he is the author of series such as Durarara and Baccano.
Which makes a lot of sense in retrospect.
Yeah, it definitely does. I believe this is the first time Narita has had a manga published in Shonen Jump, since a lot of his work are,
Light
light
novels and shit.
novel. Yeah.
Yeah. Outside of his course, huge success series, but
Which were also light novels.
yeah, initially.
So, with the introductions out of the way, let's get to the meat and potatoes of the
Yeah.
manga we read.
So
Ooh.
we're going to continue with the chapter 1 impressions like we usually do, but now we're not going to explain what happens in chapter 1. We're just going to talk about it. So if you've
Our
read it,
impressions
you
out
know
of the
what
gate.
happens. If you haven't read it, you'll probably be confused.
Well, I mean, we will reference to specific moments if need be, if it helps make our impression more relevant,
Yeah.
but we're not going to break it down page to page.
So what'd you
for
guys think
you at
after the check?
home, this would be the perfect time to pause.
Just read
Read
chapter
the
1.
manga.
It's
Well,
20
chapter-
chapters. It's fast. It's a quick read. It's not hard at all to...
And then come back to us. Please come back. We need you.
That would be nice.
So, chapter 1 ends where we learn about the invisible dragon trauma, right? Trauma or trauma?
No, hold on. Trauma.
I'm going to
It's
just
like-
say trauma because that's easier for me.
Trauma, yeah.
No, it's like Torama or something. Hold on.
Toruma?
I have it.
Oh,
Hold
is
on.
it?
I'm pulling it up in my notes right now.
Let me
It's
pull up the
just Torma. Torma. Torma.
Is it Torma? I feel like I've been...
I feel like where I read it was Toruma.
Oh, sorry. It's
And-
Torama.
Yeah,
Torama.
in the Shonen Jump app, which I've read it through, it's just Troma, so it's trauma on there. So they probably
Oh.
just made it easier for English speakers.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, it also kind of...
Anyway, so Trauma is just this guy he was just an
Wears a-
invisible man who wears this weird mask, which
And
I
so-
love. I fucking
It's
love that
amazing.
mask.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
speech bubbles come from this floating mask in the middle of nowhere.
They have a lot of fun with the setting, and it's immediately apparent right from the get-go that they're like, we love this setting. And, like, all those panels of just, like, different city-goers, people working in the office, like, they love the setting. Because they
Yeah,
put a
so-
lot of detail
so looking
into
at
it.
it from that retrospect, you can definitely see, like, the Durarara work, because, like, a lot of his series have really good world building.
Yeah, and
I'd totally be down for the Desert Kingdom that was started by a water bottle.
oh yeah, that was a cool thing too.
You're also gripped right out of the gate with your main character writing a letter to his sister. And it ends off with like, oh, the city might have been too much for me. You're like, oh no, what happened? So like right out of the gate, you are like pulled in.
I thought the crux of where this first chapter was going, is like that he's got this curse on him, and he's going to find someone to dispel the curse.
I was gonna say, I really like the idea of an OP character that is not OP because you're like a Mary Sue or something, but OP and they don't like it and they don't want to be OP anymore.
Yeah, I think
until they turn that around later, but
I liked him hiring bodyguards to protect people from him. That was a cool thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because the thing on his back, basically, if something attacks him with hostility, it gets sent back to the aggressor at like twice the force.
Yeah.
Well, Jeremy, they already knew that because they already read the first chapter.
I know. I'm just bringing up. I'm only bringing up relevant plot detail, like super key stuff. But anyway, yeah.
I think the first chapter for me it felt fairly typical, other than like I liked Mask Man, Trauma.
The characters are really strong.
He was really cool, and I think the Invisible Dragon reveal was really cool, and the whole backstory with the dragons really gripped me too.
Mm-hmm.
How dragons they just got sent to the moon because this warriors like beat them up.
Yeah, this guy.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
We'll get the revenge.
And honestly, I mean, I could see for some people it might be a little exposition heavy because there's a lot of exposition, but it's not bad.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I remember a lot of exposition. I don't remember if it was in the first chapter or not, but I was just like...
between the two chapters, there's a lot of info dumps. Like, oh yeah, the dragon heirlooms that are ranked E through S, the guy who made the Desert Kingdom with the water bottle that never pours out. Oh, and by the way, there's also the Assassin's Guild. It's like
what?
There's a lot. I already know Eddie's favorite character, the Assassin Guild guy.
Yeah, yeah, he's definitely tied for it because I do like him, but then there's another character later down the line who I'm also like, yeah.
We all love that character though.
Yeah.
We all do. He's so cool.
He is the best
that character's he's probably the best character. Besides my personal favorite character.
Yeah, the one literally made for you.
The character.
The character that you had put into this during the Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah. Back in the early days, I'm like, yo, put my OC in here. Let's see. And yeah, like I also wrote down myself that the dragon reveal is pretty great. And I was initially scared that power scaling was going to be an issue, but oh boy, did I get proved wrong. No, everyone's ridiculous. Don't worry about it.
Everyone's powers are stupid.
I know I've complained about power scaling and like stupid powers with no logic in other manga we read, like Zombie Powder and stuff.
Zombie Powder, a little bit of Gunblade West.
Yeah, but this one you know from the get-go it's going to be fucking stupid. And
in the best way. And oh boy, is it.
Like the other ones tried to be serious, and that's why I just didn't like the stupidness placed in there, but just this one...
This one does it organically.
It's organically stupid. He was born stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, he wasn't born stupid. He was fixed to be stupid.
Like, it was very clear from the get-go after the assassins, like, normal assassin stuff failed, and he's like, oh, let me just make this fucking spear out of junk, because I have telekinesis now. And then, ooh, booga booga, here's my gas bomb, my tiny little fart gas grenade that's gonna poison the entire region. Until he got excommunicated by his
boss comes
assassin
in, tired.
And he's like, hey, this contract's over, you're burned. Go see the doctor. He's like, but what? Go see the doctor. And he's like, and we don't see him until like chapter 18.
Yeah, when they reveal that the government's controlled by lizard people.
Yeah,
You know,
the actual government lizard people.
like in real life.
Yeah,
Most realistic thing.
That was a pretty funny scene. That's later on, though.
but so yeah, so we figure out what Stealth Symphony actually is after he gets excommunicated, because this assassin that shows up from the Assassin's Guild can wreck some pretty serious shit. He's like, oh, don't worry, I didn't actually save you. I just came here to excommunicate him. Now I'm here for your cool shit, the dragon heirloom thing that the guy has.
You'll make a great assassin.
Yeah.
So
And then other people show up and they're like, nah.
Nah, B.
And then the assassins all slink back to their assassin place, which turns out to be a bakery in like the next chapter.
my favorite
Yeah.
part about I think this entire manga
Mhm.
is the what is it it subverts expectations at every turn.
Oh yeah.
And because
Yeah.
like at the end of chapter 2 there's like the main guy for the whatchamacallit, like the VV,
The bodyguards?
yeah, the bodyguards, he's like, hey, we're gonna hire you and stuff, you should work for us, like typical anime stuff, and you're like, okay, I see where this is going. The
And
next
he's like,
chapter
"Oh."
next chapter he's just, oh, actually, sorry, we can't hire you, you've been denied.
Yeah, Vice President said we can't just hire random people, but you can stay in the empty dorm.
Yeah, we'll charge you like a cheap rent. No, isn't it like free?
Yeah.
As like as a return for not like doing his job properly.
Yeah, he's like, look, it's on the house just because I'm a dummy, but
So
stay
now,
there.
like, the reader's constantly thinking, oh, is he going to join the
The
bodyguards, or is he actually going to join the
They're
assassins?
V&V.
Yeah.
They're V&V, by the way. That's the company. And we get a short little thing where it's like, oh, we're badasses here. We can kill 100 demons. Everyone here, super cool. Don't forget about the vampire accountant lady. She's important.
Not until later.
No,
Well,
she's,
I mean-
she's not important until she's important.
Initially, though, we should make note of her because, Alice,
Yeah.
I believe, is her name. Is
Yes,
it Alice?
Yes, it is.
It is
Well,
Alice. That's right.
It's like, oh, is he going to go with the assassins or the bodyguard people? And then it's like, oh, there's also this the cyborg school.
Yeah.
Yes.
This school for cyborgs that just turned into a place for cyborg mercenaries.
But the way he ends up there is after getting stalked by this cat girl that has little eye robots that turn out to actually be her real eyes. Those are her cybernetic things.
And her reveal of
Those are
the
her
third eye was awesome. I'll just
Yeah, that was cool.
I
Oh
really
my-
like that.
Oh my god! Wait till we get to the third. Woo! But yeah, so she was gonna kill him initially and rip the wings off his spine, but then he ends up
turns
going
out she
to
was
the
memeing.
cyborg school because, oh hey, I could be here. I'm technically a cyborg. Don't forget that the cool assassin guy runs a bakery.
Yeah.
And him and the Invisible Man just have a big fight in there without harming the bakery at all. They just swing their swords at each other for
He also
funsies.
figured out the secret behind the wings, which I thought was really cool.
Oh yeah, the secret behind the wings
Spawn
is
to
pretty neat.
malice.
It's the intent.
So as long as there's no intent to kill, the wings will not activate. Basically meaning if some truly wicked force of nature decided to kill the MC, the wings would not stop it.
But if it's just like some indescript, like
The Sybil system
anything,
isn't
it just won't
working.
do anything. Yeah. Shit.
So main character actually ends up going with the Cyborg Squad
School.
and crushing on the cat eye girl a little bit.
And then there's this really cool like mini arc.
So
where-
this brings up one of my favorite things about the bodyguard people is that they are like true neutral
Yeah.
in that they work for anyone who pays them regardless of their if they're good or evil.
And we find this out in a really sick way because since there's no amateur jobs at the cyborg place, they're like, just go with the cat eye girl. Wait, I have her. It's Laika, I think, is like her name.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Lakas.
Latka.
Yeah, Laka.
Yeah, it's Laika.
Like a what?
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Narukami Laika. Nice one. they're stopping a slave. They're like, oh, we're not bad people. We want to stop these human traffickers. But then the reveal
is that the human traffickers hired the bodyguards
to protect them from cyborg people,
which includes Invisible Dragon, Torama, or Trauma, and Alice, the vampire secretary, and Master!
And Master, the ninja!
Oh boy, do I love Master too!
Master? So I don't know if... I think it's after this, where they just subtly reveal that Master is an isekai protagonist.
Yes!
Yes!
Master is an isekai protagonist!
When they revealed that, I was like...
right after this arc.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
At the same time, they reveal that they're an isekai character. They're also a girl. Because when you first see Master, you're like, oh, cool ninja shinobi man. Nope. Master's a chick.
And an isekai protagonist.
And an isekai protagonist.
Like, huh, no one seems to know what Japan is, but everyone speaks Japanese.
I also like that Elvish is English. I thought that was cool.
Oh yeah, everyone's Elvish is English. I'm like, oh my god.
There's so many
Master can. Going back to the train arc, because the battles that happened during this arc are fucking. Also, can we talk about? Oh yeah, go ahead.
Just how the assassins also show up, so it's just these three groups kind of battling each other, and it's just really well done how like.
Let's not forget the other new characters we meet.
It's just as a reader, I liked all three groups really well.
Oh yeah.
And now they're all just fighting, and it's like, that's pretty cool how he did that.
When he goes to the cyborg school, and there's the crocodile man there who talks like Macho Man Randy Savage, I'm like, this is a good manga. Cause he just like my character shows up, he's like, hey there brother, how are you doing?
Yo, can we talk about Fortified Doghouse? Which is a sick ass code name with Colt. I love his mecha wolves, because those are his cyborgs, because they're his cyborgs, and they make him a cyborg because they're his actual feelings, quote unquote.
Yeah, and they just raise little flags.
Dogs.
They raise little flags with messages on them, and those are his true thoughts, which is hilarious.
It's really cool.
And his Fortified Doghouse. So, the battle starts with Master and Torama deciding they're sick of the cyborg dogs and they want to start beating them up. So they combine their powers and they make a giant fucking wind tornado golem full of shuriken. It's like a big Michelin man, but it's just a giant tornado of shurikens that starts punching all the dogs.
And then
and Alice
blown up by this space cannon.
Yeah. No, hold on. I'm gonna get to that because Alice is a vampire and she just does random bat shit. But we find out later why she can do a whole bunch of different spells that don't seem vampire themed, which is really neat.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool ability.
So she's just doing vampire stuff to try to get to Colt directly while he's controlling the dogs, and that's when is like, all right, we need a trump card, and I have it. Her third eye.
It's fucking satellite.
Which is and it's her dragon heirloom too. She has a personal satellite. That's her dragon heirloom, and it drops a fucking Hammer of Dawn from Gears of just a fucking space laser.
And then Master's like, huh? So that's where it is. And there's a fucking shuriken
into space. Into fucking space.
Master's like, oh!
Defense Matrix!
This manga's too fucking silly.
Yeah,
too silly.
Master straight up goes, oh, you have a space satellite? Just throw and Raiko doesn't even, he's just like, oh no, space shuriken, and then just turns on the active defense system, and now she can't use the laser because the shuriken are in the way for the time being.
And then the main character devises a way to be useful.
Finally.
And essentially he just has one of the dogs throw him in front of the throws him in front of the car, which would not have done anything except for the fact the driver was like, yeah, I'm gonna run over this kid. Yeah. And his wings suplex the man.
But wait, because that would have killed everyone inside. So he trusted Trauma to save them all with his invisible skeleton powers, or I mean, invisible dragon powers, while he was doing that.
Yes. So he makes this really dumb gambit that, okay, Tarama will save the people inside because that's technically the cargo he's protecting. So I'm just gonna throw myself under the wheels of this bus and hope it works. Had the driver not seen him, he would just got fucking ran over and died. But only because the driver saw him and went, yeah, I'm gonna run this kid over.
It just picks up the entire thing.
The wings just go, whoop, grab the bus and fucking like crumple it up and throw it like a fucking paper ball.
This manga's so stupid.
In the absolute best way. Oh, Jesus Christ.
So then they like get to the point where
so the bus is totaled, all the people are outside, and now they're in like this kind of like cavernous like Kansas desert area where it's just rocks on the way to a pharmaceutical company, because that's where the cargo was going.
They come to like a weird parlay where it's like, oh yeah, our job's just to bring them there. We don't care what happens afterwards, so you can save them then. And it's like, yeah, okay.
So they were just about to make a truce to walk to the pharmaceutical place and be like, okay, once they're there, let's save them and fuck up this pharmaceutical place. But then
one of the slave people in the truck was actually like the CEO or owner or whatever of this pharmaceutical company that just liked watching people suffer.
Despair.
Oh yeah, their hobby was watching people despair. And then one of the guys like, so you only told us we had hope, so you'd watch us despair.
She's like, yeah.
And then she's also, oh by the way, I'm a fucking mermaid.
And
But-
she has a dragon heirloom.
Liquid.
Yeah, she has
Her
a dragon
powers are
heirloom
sick!
that can control liquid. And she
From
turned
her
on
blood.
She turned on her mermaid people because she was like, yeah, I want to make money.
Yeah, no, so she was a victim. And it's like, oh, I used my dragon heirloom to kill the pharmaceutical, blah, blah, blah. And then she got home and her mermaid people were like, yo, that's fucking sick, let's get him. And she's like, wait.
Why are they happy? I don't like this. And then she like killed them.
Yeah, she got butt mad that they got happy that they were gonna use her because she just got done being used. So she's like, I'm gonna slaughter all of you. And she does the coolest shit. Because at first she's just doing, ooh, look at my water and look at, oh, I can make acid. Ah! But when that doesn't work, she's like, fuck it. She picks up all the scraps of the like that trailer and turns it into a fucking.
Yeah, anyone can just make big like golems in this world.
Yeah. It's like secondhand knowledge. Oh yeah, I can just make a goal.
Oh yeah, of course. Didn't she also like pull out like all the gasoline of that big truck and is like, I'll explode you all?
Yeah, she tried to blow them up with the gasoline from the truck using her blood water powers.
And then Toruma just gave the big suck.
Yep,
he
so
sucks them
her
off.
mech wasn't anything in the face of the power of friendship because Torama's an hollow dragon, so he can't produce breath. So everyone else gave him shit to suck up, and then he just hyper beamed her, and that was.
He just sucked up everything.
So that was the end of her mech, not the end of her.
Oh,
because
yeah, that's right.
we meet that other Assassin Guild character for 1 second,
Oh,
who
yeah.
is also a kid on the train.
Oh, his ability's so cool.
Yeah, it is.
Where he just brings you to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, so I can't actually kill people, but I can remove them from this plane of existence. If they wanted to use me, you must have been a real shithead. Basically what he said.
Enjoy oblivion, loser.
And it's a really, like, actually spooky scene of the mermaid chick, even as though she's a bitch and deserves it, getting, like, skeletal hands from a portal, like, ripping apart her face and just pulling her in. And, like, you'll never die in there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And then the Assassin Guild isn't done yet, because there's yet another Assassin's Guild member who can impersonate people, and she just pushes the fish guy off the roof, and that's it.
Yeah.
Until my favorite character shows up. Because she's there to interrogate the fish man.
Is it time?
It's time.
Ooga boonga. Oonga boonga! My caveman brain activated, and it was heard across the country as they introduced my OC that I paid for in the Kickstarter.
It rippled through time and space and revealed what got this manga canceled in Shonen Jump.
Because, oh boy, my monkey man brain sure activated when I saw Chief Aronia, who's a dark elf cop that's fucking... No! Anyway, so yeah, she's great. And we find out later that her and another character who we did not expect to be relevant ever again were actually part of the original hero party.
Yeah, I love that they revealed that the owner or whatever of the bodyguard place was the hero that drove out the dragons and shit.
Because they play him off as being... He's a goblin with a mohawk and an eye patch and a suit, and they just play him off as being like, I'm the pervy old president guy who makes trouble for everybody. Nope, he was the hero.
Which is pretty cool. Like, there's so many twists that this manga just decides to throw at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the police chief chick that just gets introduced by this point in time was like his mage, and she's like a fucking super strong badass mage who happens to be the police chief now. After this is where we figure out that Master's a chick and Isekai hero, because you have the little festival scene.
Oh yeah, the festivals. Yeah. And that's when Best Boy comes.
Yeah, that's when Best Boy comes, because Alice saves the day from some weird bullshit.
From fucking worm.
Wait, hold on, before we...
The golem attack.
The golem attack was like chapter 3.
Oh, was it?
Oh yeah, because that was during the bakery thing, like right after the bakery.
It didn't matter.
But our cool bakery man, I think his name is Soya, who is the sword guy, the sword assassin guild member. He's the one who he just wrecks the golem like no problem. But before we get into Best Man, that we all agree on, can we just talk about the really funny moment of we find out Soya's one weakness and it's cockroaches?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's like, oh, you guys shouldn't fight. Oh, that's just typical Soya. Nothing affects him. Actually, there is one thing. And he's just like, ah. And then he looks, oh. And then he smiles blankly for a second, and then is bleeding, and then he drops a death flag. And they name the trope, hey, we don't need death flag information, please.
Oh. And then, like...
Just his faces during that.
So yeah, Alice and Master
some giant earthworm with eyebrows.
Security.
Yeah, some giant earthworm with eyebrows shows up, and they're in big, like, dumb panda costume, or, like, some random mascot costumes, and they fire bats and shuriken from their mouth. And Alice is like, she's been feeling pretty useless, so she goes extra hard and, like, throws her life on the line. It's like, touching moment with Alice. And then we partially introduced to Best Man.
Kind of. He doesn't formally show up until the next chapter, but you see him throw fucking coins at the screen.
At the TV screen, because she's getting shown on the news. He's like, how dare you praised on the news? Nijigami out. He has a really big, like, evil speech bubble, and then it shows a bunch of pictures of her with, like, bullet holes, knives, and shit stabbed into him. And you're like, oh god, what kind of creepy fat stalker is this? And it turns out
to be the coolest guy ever. The second richest man in the world.
I also love how the first richest man in the world is also an isekai protagonist.
Yeah. But they don't explain that immediately.
Yeah.
We find out that Alice
because they like reference it.
Has a vampire mom, human dad, all that good business, and it's cool that she can just instead of like
powers.
Yeah, because like vampires blood. Exactly. Vampires draw blood, but she also can steal powers, which I thought is really neat. And this is also where Main's character goes to live in that really cool
vampire hotel.
The vampire hotel.
Hotel Transylvania.
So, but yeah, sorry, best character pass going.
I mean, yeah, he just instead of getting hurt, he makes money.
Yeah, instead of taking damage from literally anything, money just flies out of him.
And it's
like
great.
A fucking RPG boss.
Yeah, and he just is unfazed by everything.
And he's a he looks so goddamn cool, and his
And-
name is Millionaire Slice.
Millionaire Slice.
And he only wants to kill Vampire Chick because she took his power, and now he doesn't feel special anymore because he's not the only one with it anymore. And it's like, what's the point? So he just wants to kill her to like be the only one with the power again.
And so his plan to do this is to hire her services so she cannot get away from him. Also,
his plan doesn't actually make any sense because he does everything but try and kill her.
yeah, honestly. But don't forget, he takes those pictures and then eats them with his vegetable juice.
Oh, yeah, he always puts it in his smoothie.
He puts pictures of her in his vegetable smoothies and goes, still lacks fiber, or oh, I like the pictures because they give a calming effect.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how he exploded that one dude because he stuck his hand in their mouth, and when they shot him with a ray gun, he just filled their body with coins and they bursted?
Yes. Oh, you like money, huh? Here, have all the money you want.
All the money you could ever need.
Yeah, he's
So he literally just wants to go after her because he's like, no, I'm the only one who should have my powers.
So yeah, they kind of like hype him up to be like the villain of this arc, but it seems like this is when he finds out that his manga's gonna be canceled.
Yeah, so
because shit starts getting confusing. Yeah,
it makes no sense.
Nothing makes sense. Everything goes by really fast, and I'm having a great time.
And it's just fantastic. Like this is where after Slice gets introduced, it's flying off the fucking rails, and it's amazing.
This turns from like a really nice like road trip to like a fucking roller coaster that's been condemned.
And so, starting with another twist after his introduction, we're like, oh shit, it's the orphanage director that's set main character up. Nope. The actual orphanage director is some other chick.
Who works for the dragon.
She is a
dragon. And
but wait.
her whole plan is to resurrect the dragon.
So yeah, fucking main character. Main character man blows up the fucking police station. And then we just start getting flooded with like, oh, he's not actually who he seems. He's actually he killed everyone in his village. He's like this crazy,
brutally murdered them.
And he's this crazy guy.
Complete like in denial sociopath. He's like, huh? That didn't happen. You're lying. I'm going to kill you for lying.
My sister's still alive. Yeah, the sister you've been writing letters to, and family's dead. He killed the people who did it.
His entire thing is literally, I reject your reality and substitute it for my own.
So he literally starts going off the deep end because he can no longer accept reality again.
So yeah,
and that's exactly what the dragon chick who is the orphanage director wanted, because that wing. He's the second coming of the Black Dragon, which is like the fucking strongest dragon imaginable.
The big dragon.
Also, I forgot a panel that I totally should have used as my panel instead of using my Unga Bunga brain because of Veronia's tits and dark elf appearance. She goes and finds that guy who gets excommunicated earlier, and like, hey, I need you, and he throws a fucking entire like. You know, like those hobo barrel fires? He throws one at her, and she just goes thick and taps it with her finger and completely kills the momentum of it. And it's really dumb looking. It's great. But
when
there's also when Slice like meets up with the main character, and he just starts beating the shit out of him.
He shoots him in the foot and shit too.
Yeah, so like
the wings fucking flicking the bullet back in like a millisecond.
But what?
So wait,
what?
so Slice runs into the main character and starts kicking the shit out of him for fun, and the main character can't do anything because he's getting protected by Tarama and Alice. It's really funny. But then after that is when he starts going off the deep end with the whole lying shit.
Because Slice starts talking about how he like murdered everyone, and then the character goes mad and punches him, and Slice just fucking flies like 10 city blocks, and
knocking over skyscrapers.
And behind him is just like
a lot of money.
Like Scrooge McDuck's entire fortune.
And he's just like, wow, that actually hurt.
Before we go any further, What are your guys' thoughts
We're
on
already too far.
on Troma's personality?
I'm really glad that they don't compromise it ever for bullshit. He is played straight the whole time, and they don't compromise it, and I love it.
I think it was really interesting how they did
Yeah, his entire like character concept is like I don't want to say he's amoral, and I don't want to say he's got like that blue and orange morality, because he knows when things are right and when things are wrong. He just doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
I think he 10 out of 10 empty man.
He's the truest definition of I can only do what I'm being paid to do, and it doesn't matter what else is happening.
But like he accepts all the bad. And he's like, it's a part of me.
Yeah.
He's
Everyone's feelings are a part of me, and I hold them inside me. And it's like, what?
And now I know the main character goes nuts and kills everyone, but let's be real, it was kind of justified, because that bully is a fucking dick.
He did set his house on fire. Yeah,
Because what happened like way earlier? It's like, oh yeah, when they were super baby kids, he got his eye fucked up because the bully threw a rock and the wing said nah and threw the rock back twice as hard and hit him right in the eye. So his idea of disproportionate, it is disproportionate retribution, but his idea of revenge is to literally light his fucking house on fire while his family is sleeping in there, including him.
And not only light it on fire, surround it with fire.
Yeah, like, intending to literally kill him and his family, which it works, but he also he gets his head bashed in with a fucking 2x4. No, not even a 2x4, a fucking entire support beam of a building. But,
it was sick.
It was sick.
Yeah, so main character going off the deep end, fucking dragons flying in from space.
Oh yeah, space dragons just flying in from the moon and ripping up the city.
And then there's just like there's just a parade of dragons. And then Slice reveals that even though he's working with the dragons, he's not, because he loves farces. He keeps talking about how he loves lies and farces.
Oh yeah, look at and Alice's face in this panel is fucking great. Just ooh.
Oh yeah, when that scene was pretty nuts. Where they show the main character. We've never said his name because I don't even remember his name.
Oh yeah, his name is Jig.
Oh yeah.
His name is Jig.
Jig.
And meanwhile, while the city's just on fire and falling apart, Veronia is at like the big royal government castle, and oh yeah, they're lizard people.
Yeah, they're just all dragons. The dragons were waiting for this moment.
Yeah, so this is like the 100 years of retribution from the dragons.
They also fucking reveal this spaceship underneath the ground that only the black dragon can re-earth.
So yeah, there's a fucking it's almost like Gomare, where the central part of the city has a big giant ass dragon heirloom that only the black dragon can revive.
Yeah, this city is just a big boat full of dragon shit, and it's so funny. What the hell?
In the middle of our main character going insane, we see him at the end of one chapter talk to Soya about something, and at the end of the next chapter, he's like, "Well, the rest is up to you." Like they had some kind of conversation. And the main character, Jig, goes back to being nuts. And, fulfilling his prophecy of becoming the Black Dragon again. So,
then,
shit's going real nuts. But, by this point, everything's just fucking...
Yeah, no, he doesn't give a shit. He's fucking breaking everything. He's fighting, Torma.
Oh yeah, he's beating the shit out of Torama. He turns invisible because he's covered in his own blood.
And then just if this had an OST, you could just hear the part where everything just goes silent.
Yeah, it surprised me.
Yeah. So we're getting 3 chapters of chaos, fighting, And
Lizard government.
Yes.
Jig finally shows back up and starts the final fight with Tarama again. And yes, as they were saying, if there was a soundtrack, it would have gone blank at this point because Soya shows up
And just cuts Jig's head off.
Yep, just decapitates Jig.
Decapitates him. Also revealing that he was like the prior experiment for the Black Dragon, and he's also like an undead cyborg.
Yeah, he's a fucking zombie.
It's so cool. And then they cut back to like his ad in the bakery, and it's like cyborgs and undead are welcome, and it's like,
oh. I mean, that panel of him beheading Jig is really fucking cool too.
Yeah.
Just a still wide shot. No background. No text bubbles, no sound effects, no motion, like no motion lines, nothing. Just that.
This is a wallpaper.
And that sword is made out of like black dragon shit, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
Black
that's
Dragon.
the reason he was able to decapitate him, because his blade is made of black dragon blood, as he explains.
It very much like Fortnite is the only thing that can kill itself. Dated humor.
And then they reveal why he killed him, which was really cool too, I think.
Was that Jig's like final thing with his sanity was he put a hit on himself if he ever tries to kill Toruma.
Yep. He put a hit on himself before he went fully nuts.
Which they joked about it earlier, like how can you cancel a manga and still have so much foreshadowing?
It's nutty.
Yeah,
like...
I don't know how this could have gotten longer. Well, like, I guess I can see a little bit longer.
I guess we would have learned about things more gradually, but it's like we got the hyper acceleration of all of the foreshadowing and the payoff that came with it.
I think he could just keep endlessly writing as much bullshit for this world, and we would have loved it all the same.
Every chapter was just a punch in the face of just new shit.
Yeah.
And it worked.
And it was extremely entertaining.
Oh yeah, and it's like Slice was actually working with the cyborg. That's when he said, "Oh yeah, I love farces."
Oh yeah,
and then he's with the cyborg people.
He used all that money from when Jig punched him, to hire all the cyborg people to help him.
And
in the middle of all this other shit happening.
Didn't he just hire everybody?
Pretty much.
I think he was just like, kill the fucking dragons or something.
Yeah.
And then the manga's like, "Oh, you thought Jig was the main character? No, Tarama's the main character."
That scene where he, like, at the very end with him and Soya.
You mean him and Alice?
Oh, was it Alice?
Wait, which one are you talking about? At the graveyard?
At the grave, yeah.
Yeah, that's Alice is there for that one.
Oh.
Well, no, actually, it's actually a double, because he talks to Soya at the graveyard, and then he talks to Alice on the roof of that building.
Right. I was thinking of a part where he, like, takes on Jig's, like, silhouette.
Oh, yeah, no, that's when he's on the roof with Alice.
Yeah.
Because he gets up from the bench they're sitting on. He's like, "I'm sure that this is a curse," and he takes on Jig's form.
Like, not actually, but like thematically, and it was really cool.
And then there's just a ton of dragons.
And there's an
yeah.
And it's like,
an
we still have
epilogue where they un-isekai.
Oh yeah, the fucking
epilogue where they go to Tokyo.
Isekai.
Yeah. And they're just like...
And they see baby Jig or something?
Yeah, they see, like, a kid that looks like Jig in, like, Shibuya.
Running around with his friends.
And it's like, huh.
Okay,
Yet no one seems to question the fucking floating mask. But yeah, whatever.
Also, they're like, well, there's not lizard men or elves here, but the kids know things called yokai. Yo, he was so ready to keep going with yokai. Like...
Yeah, you're like, oh, I get a sequel, right?
Yeah, this...
Oh my... So, we apologize if this seems, like, kind of crazy and out of control and very, like, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like...
Organized.
Unorganized. But that's just because...
This manga is just...
You see, we follow the entire plot structure of Stealth Symphony in this podcast.
Yeah. Guess what? You thought it was a new format? No, that's pretty much the same. Like, for the first 10 chapters, it has a followable arc and whatever. But then once it's like, oh, hey, you guys have like X amount of chapters left, he's like, challenge accepted, and just...
And then it just goes off the deep end.
But somehow, going off the deep end the way it did, and with all the foreshadowing and the connections and the twist and everything, it manages to be like one of the best ones we've read.
Yeah.
Oh, easily.
This is definitely, like, I acknowledge that maybe this isn't a good manga per se, but
I think maybe objectively it's not necessarily a good manga, but subjectively, holy shit, it's amazing.
Yeah, like, this was
actually
so
disagree.
much. I don't know. This was just so much fun to read.
Yeah.
That part I agree with. I think this might be objectively one of the best manga we've read on this.
Oh yeah, I think
because like it's the most unique and like.
I think objectively it's the best we've read on this
so
channel.
Far.
But I think also objectively it might not be a good manga in manga sense.
That's fair.
But I don't care about objective stuff.
I knew it was the one I've enjoyed the most out of all of them so far when I stopped taking notes towards the end because I just wanted to read it because I'm like, holy shit. Like from like chapter, I would say 13 onwards, every chapter is just holy shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I don't think any of it makes sense, but I don't care.
I mean, like it makes sense to itself.
Yeah.
They just keep adding on more shit, and it's like, okay, yeah, I'm okay with this.
I don't understand what you're saying, but yes.
Yeah, I don't really understand how or why, but keep giving me more of it because I like it.
Yeah, every chapter I was like, I need the next chapter right now. I read it, the whole thing in one sitting on a train, so it was
I read it half and half. I read the first half in the middle of like the caravan scene during one of my college classes, and completely missed a lecture about like McDonald's or some shit.
Nice.
And then I just read the other half 4 days later, and I'm just sitting here like, are we doing the podcast tomorrow? And then this is like 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Because all of us finish it at roughly the same time. Because we're like, oh my god, please.
Yeah, we
gotta talk about this.
Like I've seen like some things on like my anime list. Some things like this guy says the story is a goddamn mess, and I'm like, yeah. But it's so good.
It's fun.
It's still so good.
So you know what it is? There's not really a plot until there is. And then you're like, where the hell did this plot come from? Because you're already halfway through.
You know what's funny? Now that I think about it, how you're like, oh, how is there so much foreshadowing and like call forwards and call backs in this canceled manga that only has 20 chapters? This is like some 999 fucking Zero Escape shit where it's like a stable time loop where his consciousness of where he knew it was canceled sent his consciousness back to when he was first making. Hey, this is gonna get canceled, so make sure you foreshadow this, and this. And it fucking fulfills itself.
I just think he knew exactly where he wanted it to go. And like prepared it in the beginning.
All the time to go, like get there organically, so he's like, fuck it.
He had the beginning and the middle, he had the beginning and the ending planned out to a T. We just got like Zahando just came in and took the middle away. Okuyasu showed up and said, "Oi, Josuke!"
Oi,
Oi,
Josuke!
Josuke.
I like the idea that like Josuke's like reading Shonen Jump and Okuyasu just the hands like the spine of it.
Get rid of the middle of
the
Stealth
middle
Symphony.
chapters.
That's exactly what
Oi,
happened.
Josuke!
Oi, Josuke! Oh my god.
He's like pissed off that Josuke won't like hang out with him because he's too busy reading manga, so he just erases the middle part.
Oh man. So honestly, there wasn't really potential to become more because the mangakas, they saw this coming and they were prepared. So they didn't leave us off with nothing. They ended it. They said, "Fine, all right, that's it.
Yeah.
End it."
They're definitely. What? What do you
I'm
like?
just imagining like he got to like finishing the end and he takes the manuscript, he just goes, bites the dust off, and just sends it back to himself. He's like, I'm gonna foreshadow all of these things. Yatasu!
So I mean, I wouldn't be upset if there was more in the middle because I really just love all of it. Like everything they give us, it's just so much fun.
It could definitely use more in the middle to make the ending less confusing, but I feel like the confusing ending enhanced my enjoyment.
Yes, I definitely would have to agree. The way the ending hits you like a fucking truck is like the best.
This series is like if you got a sandwich on like really good bread, and there's just nothing in it. And you're
It's just
like,
really good
"This is
bread."
some good bread.
It's like really good pretzel bread,
Cut
and
in
there's like
half.
there's a thin layer of like mayo or mustard or something, and that's it. That's all that's on it.
Salt.
There's like
a little bit of salt.
there's like one little piece of lettuce.
Yeah.
Very crisp piece of lettuce.
And then you're at the other end of the good bread, and you're like, oh, I guess we're back to good bread again.
Yes.
So, what are you rating this one, boys?
What a fucking manga. Honestly, if you guys got this far and haven't read it, please go read this piece of shit.
Oh my god, please.
It's so fucking funny.
Because we can't even do it justice to just the utter joy and fucking ride that this manga becomes.
Yeah, it's...
Because initially I was a little put off. I won't lie, I was a little put off, like, wow, they're introducing a lot and it kind of seems all over the place. But boy...
I loved how they introduced 3 factions. And they were
Oh
all
yeah, no, the
going against
factions
each
were
other.
great. I was talking about like, the very initial kind of like first chapter stuff now that I'm thinking back to it. But then once it kicked in, I was like, oh, this is great. I love this. And like you said, it literally subverts you at every turn. Like, I can't think of a single example where it plays something, not now outside, I'm talking about like in terms of plot and tropes. It plays a lot of, well, maybe not necessarily the tropes, but you know what I'm saying. Like, you don't expect the turns in the plot at all. It just, they all come from left field every time.
Just the secret to Stealth Symphony is just be like Torba and just don't have expectations and just enjoy everything.
I also love Troma's character. It's super interesting, and I've never seen it before.
I like how they would like adjust the mask to like match his like emotions.
Yeah.
Like it'll sweat when he's like flustered.
And the mask itself is kind of almost unsettling.
Cool. Yeah,
Like,
in a way it is.
Because he's acting weird, and then he has just this like blank smile mask.
And don't forget the time he gets stabbed through his mask eye by a text box.
Yeah.
Oh,
By the security... Oh yeah, the security defense system that's in the building. That's who did it. But you know, usually the thing that I love Torama a lot too is you usually see his character type where it's like, oh, I understand right and wrong, but I'm only gonna do what I'm paid to do or whatever.
Because all experiences are equal to me.
And usually, when a character like that is attempted, they either half-ass it and don't go all the way, or they do something that erodes that and they have a change of heart. No. Toriyama does not do that, which is why it's so great that we see him, to the end, maintain that character. And he still has character growth, despite it.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
But my final thoughts, I give this a baker's dozen.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably a good way to go about this, because assigning a true numerical rating to this is quite a task. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and say that this is a waxing crescent moon out of all the moon cycles.
I put this as a baker's dozen over a question mark. Bascon?
Mine is a brand new eraser on a pencil.
Ooh, that's...
Ooh. Wait, like on a brand new pencil, or like an unused eraser on like an old pencil?
Okay. Barely used, like, kind of just sharpened pencil. The eraser is slightly used, where it's like the edges are rounded and like it erases good, because usually like just like new erasers, they don't erase good. It's like that perfect, like there's still a lot left but it's slightly used.
It's just broken in perfectly.
Yeah.
And none of those shitty graphite marks
like
on
new
it.
sneakers.
Yeah.
And we assure you that we will return to a more normalized rating scheme for the next manga, unless it turns out to be like Stealth Symphony.
We'll see how it goes.
Stealth Symphony is special. It doesn't deserve just a 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10. No. This is this manga is an experience.
Just
it's
go
an
read
experience no one will relate to, but also it's the best isekai ever written.
I couldn't believe when they threw the isekai protagonist at me randomly out of nowhere.
Like, it's so inconsequential.
It doesn't matter at all that it happened, but they did it.
Like, because initially I'm like, oh, okay, Master's a girl and not a guy, cool. And then I'm like, wait a second. Oh, I double-taked and read over her text, because I was like lightly skimming, like wasn't like reading half the words. I was reading like 80% of the words. And I'm like, whoa, wait. And I went back to the start and read it again. I'm like, holy shit. Holy shit. What do you mean you're from Japan?
Man.
Do you mean in your Japan people can do this?
No, only the master can, idiot. God, get a load of this guy.
Yeah, that's why you get their shuriken into fucking...
Get a load of this society on the fucking dragon boat.
Oh my god. What a beautiful fucking manga. So, would you recommend it?
Yes, go read it, please.
Yeah, please.
Please, read it. For the love of God. With that...
So,
should we... Do you want to talk about what we'll read next week on, like...
Yes, I think we should...
Now?
I think we should choose what we read next week so that we can tell them... So that, like, so they can read it too, and then when the episode comes out, they'll already have read it.
Yeah, since we're shifting the format, so they can maybe get along with the
if
format.
you guys like this format better, at least.
If you like it, if you want to weigh in, let us know. Because what we can do, is if you want a plot summary, we'll go back to that. That's longer episodes, more podcast feel. Or we can kind of keep this where we, we'll drop plots, things here and there, but when they're relevant to our, opinions and such. Okay, yeah, so look forward to next episode where we will review Robot X Laserbeam.
Yeah, so go read it.
Yeah. Or
and if you
just listen to us babble about it like monkeys.
If you want to know more of what we're talking about better, go read it. And then when the episode comes out, you'll understand and you'll have your own opinions and criticize ours or something. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for...
to leave those opinions in the comment section. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh...